folks, you've done it again. You've been lucky enough to reach another ingenious episode of Whining About Pest Control. If you're just joining us, I am Shelby Hartzer of 360 Pest Consulting. And there's been a bit in the news recently about stinging insects. We've had those so-called murder hornets for a couple years that are on the West Coast. We have the invasive yellow-legged hornet coming to the East Coast. But not all of these ginormous wasps are invasive or even harmful. That brings us to our whining topic this week, cicada killers. For this episode, I've got a predator, Old Vine Zinfandel, because cicada killers are predators. Cheers. Nice and smooth. All right. Backstory to start with. Yes, these are large wasps. No, they do not kill cicadas. Well, okay, they sort of do. The female wasp stings her little cicada and brings it back to the little hole that she's dug in the ground. That cicada is still alive. It's just paralyzed. She will provision that little hole with 2 to 3 cicadas and then lay one single egg on them. That egg hatches into a little wasp larvae that proceeds to chomp down on these paralyzed cicadas while they're still alive. So it's the larvae that kills them, not the adult. Here's those poor little cicadas. Since this is whining about control, let's talk about that. First thing we talk about with control is always sanitation, right? Clean up that food source and or the habitat. Well, good luck removing all the cicadas. Not going to happen. And it's not like we can eliminate their habitat, which is literally the ground. Next in our IPM checklist, exclusion. Cicada killers are outside. They don't want inside unless you've got tons of cicadas indoors. If you have multiple cicada killers inside, call me because I really want to see that and document it. It'd be cool. So can we eliminate those adult wasps outside? Sort of. First of all, it's important to remember and remind those clients that these Godzilla-sized wasps are solitary and they're 99% harmless. Yes, they can sting, but to get one of those that sting you, you really have to piss that little girl off. It's not impossible, just unlikely. Second, it's important to remember that these are kind of beneficial, especially if that raucously shrill singing of the cicada annoys you like it does me. Third, it's important to remember these are solitary. Sure, you might find a few flying around out there, but it's not like there's this massive colony of thousands of these like you would see with hornets or yellow jackets. I know, but Chelle, they're big and scary and our customers want them gone. Fine. There are a few dusts that are pretty broadly labeled that if you can find some of those nearby holes, you can dust those, kind of like carpenter bees. Remember, this is only going to affect next year's wasps, and of course, it's pretty time consuming. There are some wasp traps that if you really desperately need to be seen doing something, you can use these. They won't be all that effective, but they're also going to catch the other wasps, so it's not a total loss. You can do that perimeter treatment, and that could reduce some of the cicadas that are right there up against the structure, thereby pushing those adult wasps further away to look for their food. Again, not super effective, but you've done something. The adults feed on nectar, they feed on plant saps, so you can always recommend to the customer to reduce all those millions of flowering plants they have around their property. Good news is, customers probably aren't seeing tons of these, nor are they getting stung, and if there is that potential sting, remind customers they should contact a medical professional, not you. Furthermore, the adults are only going to be out for about 2 months. Not too bad. Showing up and doing a quality inspection, performing some of that regular pest control work, and giving info to the customers should take care of most of the problem. Of course, there are lots more stinging insects out there, including some very big wasps. So until the next giant murder whatever comes along, go grab a glass, watch some cool videos of the cicada killers flying with their little cicada, and whine to me about your wasp challenges. I can help you. Hit all those buttons down below, share with everybody you know, and cheers to our ingenious cicada killers.